I kind of look like the love child of Courtney Love and... No, because that would just be their child, wouldn't it? No, I look like... What do I look like? I look like rock and roll, but like casual at the same time. You feel? Blondie meets Courtney Love.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah,
today we're doing an East West Bayswater. Now this is a blast from the past. It actually looks really strange me holding this because I have yellow hair and I'm a little bit eccentric, and this is such a classic bag. It just looks like the most weird juxtaposed thing ever. This is East West Bayswater. It is a sort of variation of a Bayswater. It was obviously brought out after the Bayswater, Oz.
Sorry, what?
It was obviously brought out after the Bayswater.
Yeah, I think...
To have the name, surely.
I think it was very, of course, I think it's very, the Bayswater was obviously original, but I think they wanted something which was maybe, obviously just slightly smaller, but...
They wanted something less heavy because people were complaining about the weight. They also wanted something with a longer armhole so that it would fit more comfortably on the shoulder. So obviously that brings me nicely on to the fact that it's got slightly longer handles, comparison coming in 2, 1. Oh, no. You're going to hold it up.
Can you help? It doesn't look like there's a lot in it, but there actually is, isn't there? Yeah, there.
Like maybe 2 inches.
But that's enough for someone's arm. That's the difference.
So in terms of construction, this is very similar to a Bayswater. It's just sort of like a half the height version. So this one's in oak, which is Mulberry's most classic colour. So a good example to show you here. Just because of it's made out of natural vegetable tanned leather, which is sort of the most natural state you can have the leather, if that makes sense. So it's very prone to like sun bleaching and just tanning unevenly because of sun exposure, etc. And to be honest, that is like a nice feature of the leather, and a lot of people buy it because of that feature. So you'll notice that there's a little bit of like unevenness with the colour. It's not as uniform as some of the bags I've shown you before, but it is Mulberry's most classic leather and most classic colour, both of which are discontinued.
Yep.
They still do make an oak. They still do make an oak, but because it's in the chrome vegetable tan now, it's just not the same.
Shade.
It's just not that, yeah.
And do you know what I'd say? It kind of stays that way, whereas like that darkens with age. It gets kind of, so it changes the whole time.
A really good example of the antique brass hardware, which is another OG Mulberry feature that you don't see a huge amount of on the new bags, if at all. Actually, I don't know why I said that. If at all, I think that's discontinued too, really, isn't it? Antique brass discontinued.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is the classic Postman's lock with the tree on it. Little story about the Postman's lock, why we're here.
Hit me.
Postman's lock feature came from one of the designers visiting the leather factory in Italy when they saw a postman with a leather satchel bag on his rounds, and the satchel bag had a Postman's lock like clasp on it. So Mulberry took the idea, ran with it, logoed it with their tree, and here we are today with the most iconic lock maybe in luxury handbag history. Name a more iconic lock. 1 second.
The Chanel twist lock.
The Chanel twist lock. Why did I just say it was the most iconic lock in history?
But a good set, maybe second or third.
In the top 5 most iconic locks ever made.
It's pretty popular, guys.
If I get thumbs down for this, I swear. I've been getting thumbs down for some of my reviews, and I honestly think people just don't like my personality.
Well, that's okay.
How can you not like the bag? It's gorgeous.
Not everyone's for everyone.
Anyway, so you can see as well the natural like darkening you get from the oil in your hands on the handles in this case. It's not too bad, but it is there, and that does happen naturally with just holding the bag and with wear. You've got the classic piped edges, the same as a Bayswater, classic Bayswater, and then you've got the same. This one has no feet. Most Bayswaters of this age would have feet. However, that does not prove authenticity, because they did so many variations of different of the Bayswater, etc., with different features and different whatnots, that if your Bayswater hasn't got feet, it's not a like sign of authentication. I keep touching my hair because it is a bit wild today, and I've got like a Rick Owens-esque jumper on.
That's actually a good point. Though. I didn't think about that. A lot of people, when they see the Bayswaters with no feet, they're like, they came with feet, but they did quite
some
a few
didn't even have
they?
fobs inside, right? True. Or serial numbers. So this has got the lock back on the back. If you watch my other Bayswater New Style video, you'd know that they took that off to save weight. This one's also suede lined, another feature that they took away for a period of time. They went to microfiber and then they've gone back to suede now. And then you've also got the other side, this my stuff in, the other side of the lock here, which is chunky. They minimized that quite a lot with the new design. It has the inner buckles for adjusting the size of the bag. I did do a classic Bayswater review with a limited edition design. So if you want to know how they like vary, then you can view that. But I will probably do a Bayswater family collection video when I have them all in, because it does happen. There's an inner zip inside and it is canvas lined, as you would expect from this bag. The leather has got a uniform grain to it. It isn't imprinted, so you can see, look, see the texture in the leather, and that's what people really like from this leather. Like the imperfections, you get scars.
You can actually see, obviously, like, it was terrible as it sounds. Obviously, whether it's one whole skin or not, or different parts of the same skin, like even these, they're so different.
Yeah, it just varies. It varies so wildly, but that's what people loved about this leather, and especially in this colour, because in the black you lost like that grain, like seeing the texture.
You don't see the depth, I guess.
But this one is called a Bayswater East West. Why is it called that? Because they did a Mitzi East West.
Because north and south are up and down.
Yeah.
So east west, you're just sideways. I'm guessing.
No. Do you reckon that's it?
Well, north and south should be stretched that way. East west is...
Because these aren't longer that way, but it looks like it because you cut the bottom off. So
it's just that, you haven't got the south and the...
I honestly hope that's the truth, and I will
If it's
look it
not,
up.
I'm saying it is.
But should we just tell people that? So that
Anyone you ever speak to, tell them that.
That's a really good story. So yes, this is the East West Bayswater from Mulberry. If you'd like to see more Bayswater videos or Mulberry videos, then give this a like. Please don't dislike just because you think I'm wackadoodle. I am. Just move on. Go away. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. 82.95% of people that watch our videos are not subscribed, but you're watching them.
How many?
82.95. A lot. It's a lot. It's like astronomical.
And that.
Yeah. So if you're interested in Mulberry, we make multiple videos. So just go to our channel, see all the different bags we reviewed. I'm going to do a Lily very soon. I'm also going to do the classic Bayswater in black. I've got black oak and I've got deep embossed croc, if anyone would like to see those. I'm going to do a travel series in terms of Mulberry Clipper luggage. And I might do a men's series of like men's bags, like briefcases, etc.
Are you going to do your custom Bayswater?
I have a custom Bayswater that I have painted. Maybe we should do that because that will probably upset some people.
I'm down with that.
Let's do it. It's got flames on.
Literally.
What was it? Easter egg? No, what was it? Spoiler.
Yeah.
So yes, Mulberry, East West. The handles are so large I can fit my head in.
And that's a big old head.
Thank you.